you are thinking of moving to Chandler, Arizona, and why wouldn't you? It is one of the most well-rounded cities in the entire greater Phoenix area. And I am going to break down a ton of different areas and aspects about looking at areas when you're thinking of moving to Phoenix, Arizona. Now, Chandler, although it's in the Southeast Valley, it is really the center of it all. And we're going to talk about the proximity, but we're also going to cover things like housing, all the different types of housing. It is one of the most diverse areas of the entire greater Phoenix area. Everything from condominiums to townhomes to single family homes to first-time home buyers to move-up buyers to luxury buyers to retirement buyers. I'm telling you, there is something for everyone in the city of Chandler. The services that are offered by the city and the benefits the residents see from that, like for instance, water. That's a big thing. How about road maintenance and just fire and police and those kind of things? You want to know that the city that you live in is making an investment in your quality of life. How about jobs? Jobs is what creates stability in an environment. Not only is Chandler one of the top areas for employment, but within a 30-minute drive, there's literally a million different high-paying jobs. We're going to break that down for you. Medical. Medical is important no matter where you are in life, whether you're just starting out your family or you are also approaching retirement age. You want to know there's medical services, top quality medical services. Schools. If you are thinking about raising your family or growing your family or moving your family to Chandler, you want to know about the schools. And I'll tell you, not only do we have public, charter, and private, there is a lot of school choices in Chandler. We're going to break that down for you. If you are into shopping, dining, entertainment, and I'm talking entertainment from adults, that's kind of where I'm at in life, to the children. I am talking a level of children entertainment that you will not see anywhere else. We're going to break that down for you. How about the cost of living? People don't realize this, that the home is one cost, but the overall cost of living, what is it like to live in Chandler? What are the benefits, pros, cons, and what do things cost? And how about just the overall quality of life? I don't know about you guys, but I came from San Francisco Bay Area when it was busy, hustle and bustle, and the stress between traffic and getting home to feed the kids and schoolwork and after school programs and making sure my husband was attended to and also fulfilled. It was crazy.
This is getting crazy now.
And when I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, more specifically Chandler, it changed my life in so many ways that it was very fulfilling for me, my family, and my future. So let's break it down. Let's first talk about where is Chandler and why do I say it's the center of it all when it's kind of not? Okay, so where is Chandler in proximity to the rest of the greater Phoenix area? Here's the biggest misconception is people come here to vacation and they think that Scottsdale is our hub. And so they say, oh, but you're so far from everything. That is so far from the truth. In fact, when you call Arizona home or Phoenix area, I promise you, you're not going to be going to Scottsdale a lot unless you have family and friends visiting and they want to go to Scottsdale. So when you look at buying in the Southeast Valley and you look at where Chandler is located from the entire greater Phoenix area, you're going to realize it's more of a center of the greater Phoenix area. Only 20 minutes from Phoenix Airport, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, depending on where you're going in Scottsdale and coming from in Chandler. But here's the thing, guys, not one, not two, but three different freeways go smack dab around and through the city of Chandler. And then there is another freeway that it connects to. Interstate 10, Highway 101, and the 202 South Loop. And if you go north on 101, you can also connect to the 60. I'm telling you, everything from Chandler is just a hop and a skip, not to mention everything in Chandler. Now, Chandler has a great entry price point in different areas. Number one, everyone kind of goes to condominiums. There are some beautiful condominiums throughout the city of Chandler, whether you're looking at a large single level condominium, or if you are looking for a two-story with an attached two-car garage. There's also kind of in the middle. There is lakefront condominiums. There's also golf front condominiums. There is condominiums more so in the city of Chandler than almost any other city in the greater Phoenix area. Now, here's the other thing. There was a whole bunch of apartment complexes in the early 2000s that did a condo conversion, which is a little bit different. If you want to get the details, you got to give us a call because I was instrumental in that condo conversion market before the market crashed. But I got the details on it for you guys. And I love the location of many of these condominiums. Now, if you're thinking of townhomes, again, there's not a lot of townhomes in the greater Phoenix area. They're either condos or single family homes. In fact, when we look through this particular neighborhood, these look like townhomes, but they're actually single family homes. The majority of people that own Arizona real estate own land. We are a very landowner state. And condos and townhouses, you don't buy the land. It actually is owned like 1/200% to share with these common other people. But then you also have more policing and things like that. So there are some great single family homes that look like townhomes. But then it confuses the single family home buyers because when they look up, they're like, oh, I like this because it's newer. That's kind of a newer concept of these type of homes. And then they're like, oh, it only has a 3,000 square foot lot. It's like, because they're supposed to be compared to a townhome, not a single family home. There is established neighborhoods. That's my favorite part of Chandler. People don't realize that Chandler 30 to 50 years ago was mostly farmland. So very rich in the soil, a lot of moisture and in the soil, etc. And so especially most of these neighborhoods that are 20, 30, 40 years old have these beautiful trees and gorgeous parks. That's another thing I'm going to cover in here for you guys. Chandler is so proud of their parks. And these aren't desert-like parks. These are green parks. We are talking an abundance of it. There's also more lake communities in Chandler than any other part of the greater Phoenix area. Chances are, with our current water situation, we're not going to see a whole lot of new construction communities that have lakes. Now, there are a few, and they come at a price. Not only do we have lake communities, but we also have creek communities. I know that sounds weird. We have smaller bodies of water that actually kind of go through the neighborhood so everyone can take advantage of it from walking around. If you are looking for golf front properties, we have a couple of golf courses. The two right off the top of my head are going to be, number one is the Ocotillo Golf Course, and that is considered a luxury. Actually, all the homes on these golf courses are. And then the other one is at San Marcos Golf Course, which, by the way, is the first grass golf course in Arizona. So it's pretty old. They've replaced it and they've maintained it pretty well. So if you are thinking you want a golf course property, we have that in Chandler. I'm telling you, there's something for everyone in Chandler. If you want large lots, if you like raising, if you have horses, if you want to have a large farmhouse, if you want to have an RV garage, we have that in Chandler. If you are thinking upscale, if you are thinking luxury, oh, did somebody say luxury? Yes. There's new construction luxury homes, and I have a treat for you guys. This home was just completed. These are custom. The entire neighborhood is custom. Every single home was individually built. The details in this home are insane. Let's take a look and let me know what you think. Actually, you know what? In the comments below, tell me what you think the list price is. It's not yet on the market at the time of this video, so you're gonna have to guess and tell me what you think this price is.
Okay, let's just start first of all. Look at that driveway. That is ridiculous. Oh my goodness, that is just beautiful. That is just ridiculous. Wow. That's okay, you can be in the video.
This is a custom home. It's actually a funny story. The builder was building it for himself, and he decided to build his own custom home in another location. but the details, the amount of upgrades in this home are insane. It's a total of 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bath. It is 3624 square feet. It has a 3-car garage and a metal roof, which, if you didn't know, metal roofs will last over 50 years. That's a long time. One of my favorite parts about calling Chandler is not only having one grocery store down the street, but I have literally 5 to choose from, including Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, multitude of AJ's Fine Foods, Safeways, and even little like healthy grocery stores, smaller ones. But I love the entrepreneurial lifestyle that the city of Chandler offers that honestly you can't find in any other part of town. So the town of Gilbert is super popular, but they have a lot of corporate money. And so what you see there is corporate dollars and large chains and franchises, those kind of things. In Chandler, we're talking mom and pop shops everywhere. And I don't care what we're talking about, whether we're talking about crafts with kids or if we're talking about boutiques for clothes, if we are talking about sandwich shops, if we are talking coffee shops, if we are talking wine bars, even some of the biggest restaurants in downtown Chandler. People don't know this. Downtown Chandler has a very strict rule about what businesses are over there. You cannot have more than 5 locations anywhere in the world. This is supposed to be a mom and pop shop. Now, there's a couple of places in here you would swear to God was a big, huge conglomerate. Like one of them right off the top of my head is the Distillery. And the Distillery does have 3 locations now, but the first one is in Chandler, and the owner, one of them, there's several, calls Chandler home. This is a locally owned bar and restaurant. Equally, there is another restaurant that is just mind blowing. It is over 10,000 square feet. It's called The Perch. It is owned by one amazing woman, and she opened up a second little place in Gilbert, and she's opening up a huge location in Queen Creek. But it started in Chandler. In fact, she really kind of changed how Chandler is with her very thought forward thinking about businesses. I'm talking locally owned bakeries. I am everything you can possibly think of. You thinking about breweries? There's not one, there's not two, there's 5 breweries that started in Chandler. Chandler has the most amazing, diverse, creative type of businesses you can ever imagine. And you can't even really find all the spots because you don't know what to look up. So when you come to town, you're just going to have to go to an area and type in restaurants or coffee shops or bagel shops or anything you want. There is something locally owned. Pizza shops. Oh my God. I'm telling you, it's just blowing my mind. Yes, we have all the corporate stuff too, but who wants to give those guys the money when you can help a local resident? And usually they are the owner and operator. There's an amazing cheese shop in downtown Chandler. I'm not kidding you. It goes on and on. And this is what I mean by like every day when you call Chandler home, it is like you're on vacation every single day because there's so much to see if you get excited about things like me. Let's talk about shopping. Shopping is a big deal for a lot of people. There is a plethora of local shopping, whether you are looking for shopping mall, and I'm talking about a full-fledged operating, not dying shopping mall smack dab in the middle of the city. It's literally 10 minutes from wherever you live in the city of Chandler. And we are talking top of the line stores that all of us ladies need. And there's some great things for the guys. There is a Shields. If you have not been to a Shields, they're very limited. And let me tell you, they get over 10,000 visitors every single weekend. So there is a very heavy traffic flow, and that's why it really kind of helps flourish this mall, and it's not dying like the rest. Here's the other thing. The city of Chandler is so innovative. So when the shopping malls started to die, they said, we got to do something different. And so what they really focused on, and just leave it to Chandler, Chandler's focus on education and children is unsurpassed. And when I used to be on quite a few of these committees, and I was working at the city council, and I got to learn about all this stuff. This started like 10 years ago when, again, the shopping mall was starting to die. And they were like, let's focus on children, activities, entertainment, edutainment. Let's focus on having this a destination for the children of our community. Now, mind you, it's open to anybody, but there is amazing things going on at the mall nonstop for kids. Not to mention Shields. I take my grandson there all the time. There's so many things to do in Shields, but there's also Crayola Experience. Now they have movie theaters. They have outdoor games. They have a bowling alley coming. There is a Lego store in the mall, which is super cool. Here's the new thing that's coming. It hasn't even opened yet. It is called Round One Bowling and Arcade. The kids that like to hang out at the mall on Friday and Saturday nights, now they have a place to go so they don't get in trouble. I am telling you, Chandler is so innovative, and they really do focus on the youth. And let's go right on over to the schools and the education and the programs that they have, because we're right into it, right? So even if you don't have school age children, it is nice to know that your community has all the amenities that draw in people and buyers, and that helps, again, retain and actually increase your property value. So you want to know that your city is staying on top at the top of the game on everything. Schools are still the top in the city of Chandler. Now, the city of Chandler Elementary K through 8 has two different school districts. There's one that's called Kyrene School District, and the other one is Chandler Unified. Both are fantastic, but Chandler Unified is by far the top rated school district in the entire greater Phoenix area. Some of the programs they offer these kids, even in middle school, are insane, over the top. The STEM programs, and I actually like to call it STEAM because there's also a huge art following in Chandler, and there is a lot of additional corporate dollars that go back into the kids' programs because of where the companies are located. As these technology companies started coming here around the 80s, 90s, 2000, it's just exploding. In fact, we'll cover jobs in just a moment, but all that tax money goes back into the education system, not to mention The programs that they also offer after school and through the community center, back to an amazing city called Chandler. I'm telling you, they give back to the residents in so many different ways, ways that people don't even think about when they're thinking about where to buy. Now, let's get to the high school. I'm telling you, the high schools, there's several of them that are outstanding. They all are actually top of the charts, but there's three that really stand out in my mind from not only an academic program, but also from an athletic program. So if you have children that are in football or volleyball or baseball, you probably have heard about Chandler High School, Basha High School, and Hamilton High School. Now, the other schools that I'm talking about is the College Preparedness School. I can't remember the name of it. Hold on. Actually, it's called the Arizona College Prep High School. And it's really interesting, that school, because the state has open enrollment, but it's in such high demand. And if they have openings anywhere, anyone from the state can enroll their children here. They just have to drive them to school. There are so many students at that school right now that do not live in Chandler, like Scottsdale. So people think Scottsdale has better education. Not necessarily. They drive their kids down to Arizona College Prep. And the other one is Perry High School. So there is a lot of local team cheering because high schools here in Chandler are not to be reckoned with. They are top of the charts in every possible way. Now, if you're thinking also about basis schools, some of the best basis schools in the country are located where? Oh, yeah, that's right, Chandler. There is also a ton of smaller STEM schools that also call Chandler home. And these are part of the public school system, so they don't cost the students or the student's family money. You just got to enroll them. Some of them do have a waiting list. And also childcare. If you are thinking of preschool or pre-K, there's a lot of choices that you have in the city of Chandler. So let's talk about jobs. Not only does the city of Chandler house more than 250,000 jobs, high paying tech jobs. I'm not talking about servicing or administration and things like that. This is one of these, it's actually the world's second largest condensed area of a vendor capital. Now, I'm sure that there are other areas that are starting to grow, but Chandler is known as Silicon Desert. And we have so many jobs here. So we have also people that are coming here from all over the world. So the top jobs are going to be Honeywell, Northrop Grumman, Wells Fargo, Intel. I should have probably said that first. Banner Health, Samaritan Health. The healthcare industry is just exploding. So was aerodynamics and also bioscience in the Chandler area. We are seeing also automotive technology. Waymo calls Chandler home. I feel like just Chandler has so much to talk about. I don't know how to fit it all in one video. If you like to be entertained as an adult, we talked about the children having massive entertainment over by the Chandler Mall. And in the summer months, there is all kinds of indoor playgrounds, whether you're talking about trampoline or you're talking about Makuto's Island, which I love taking my grandson there. Oh my God, I laugh my butt off. It is like an indoor Disneyland. It is incredible. There's so many things to keep the kids entertained even through the summer. But you probably want to know about mom and dad. Well, mom and dad, they want to know what's going on too. If you like outdoor festivals, it is already started by the time I shot this video. Not only did we have a taco festival in Chandler, again, there's festivals all over the greater Phoenix area, but the city of Chandler hosted already the Taco Festival, and then of course now we have Oktoberfest right about now. By the time, hopefully you're watching this video, pretty timely. But come spring, you will, and this is again why it's great to live in Chandler. Come springtime, you are going to every single weekend go, what can I do this weekend? And there's going to be a list of 10 to 15 different things to do every single weekend. Everything from outdoor music entertainment, there's going to be concerts, there's going to be festivals, there's going to be religious getaways, there's going to be staycations, there's so many things to do. It's unbelievable. They will eventually have a light rail that goes down through the center of Chandler on Arizona Avenue. It will come down Arizona Avenue to downtown Chandler. If you do any kind of research anywhere else in the country, what has the response been to light rail system kind of train things? The values of the properties shoot up. And that's because they become walkable districts. You're going to see a lot of people starting to build vertical, which Chandler, the city of Chandler, does have a lot of programs, grant money, and different things going on for businesses. They will start doing that probably for residential. That's what I'm telling you, that's kind of like the next wave that's going to happen in Chandler is we're going to get to that next more walkable city, and Chandler is going to be ahead of the rest of the cities. I think even more so than Scottsdale. So again, keep your eye on Chandler. That's my 2 cents. One of the things I really hear a lot of, and honestly, it could be any city in the greater Phoenix area. If you live really far out, you're complaining about traffic, okay? You're talking about you don't have enough freeway access, you don't have enough surface streets, they're not wide enough, or that there's no freeways even by you at all. That doesn't happen in the city of Chandler. Now, I have to say I'm a little annoyed at the construction, but I have to tell you, I love that the city of Chandler is always ahead of the game. Here we are. The 202 was built like 10 years ago, and now with all the other people that have moved outside of Chandler, but drive through Chandler on the 202, they're already widening it. So we are talking a smooth freeway. We don't have potholes. We have amazing surface streets. We don't have sewer backup problems. We don't have power lines. That's another thing. Even in downtown Chandler, the city spent so much money putting their power lines underground. And I'm not saying that all of Chandler has power lines underground, but again, not too far from my neighborhood, you can't see any power lines at all where I live. And it's all along the freeway. Well, you don't have a house along the freeways. They're so smart. They're like, let's think about how this is going to affect homeowners and the residents in the long term. Even this, guys, they built a 5-story garage in downtown Chandler, which, by the way, all their parking in this downtown is free. They did the first level much higher than you normally do for a drive-in garage because they knew that in 20 to 40 years, there would be less vehicles on the road. We're using vehicles differently. And talk about the self-driving cars. They're probably going to be a thing in the future. We don't know when, but they didn't want this concrete eyesore in downtown Chandler. So what they did is they built it already. The infrastructure is ready to convert that entire first level to retail. That's how forward thinking the city of Chandler is. You want to talk about using money wisely? They are debt free. That doesn't happen in cities very often at all. There is over 100-year water guarantee for all the residents within the city of Chandler. And Chandler is built up by 97%. There's only like this much left. So even if you see some dirt or some farm, it's already spoken for. And that's another thing. Chandler doesn't deviate from the general plan. They know that they don't want a bunch of apartment complexes, because that's what the developers want. Developers want build to rent, and they want apartment complexes because that's where they make more money. And the city of Chandler, nope, that's not what we're doing. We know we need more housing, and they want to be smart, but they want it to benefit the community. And that also means the people that already live here and bought a certain lifestyle and quality that the city of Chandler offers. Let's talk about downtown Chandler specifically when you're thinking of entertainment for adults. There's some kids stuff too, but for the most part, we're talking about over 40 different bars and restaurants. We are talking the #1 live music destination in the entire greater Phoenix area. And the downtown corridor is just growing and growing and growing. Most of the homes that are down there are going to be apartment rentals. There are 2 different communities, though, that do have condominiums. They're very hard to get, and they go like this as soon as they go on the market. But if you are looking for that PM fun, this is a great proximity to base where your fun is going to be at. During the day, they do have that farmers market on Sundays. They also have an art walk. They have occasional festivals down there. Just this last weekend, they had Oktoberfest. There is a lot of activity that goes on in downtown Chandler, and it's so cool because every single restaurant, bar, business down there is locally owned and operated. I said I was going to talk about costs. And here's a really, again, something that people don't think about. They only look at the price of the house. Now, here's the thing. If you're in the $2 million price point, you're not going to worry about what you're paying for electricity that, per se. You're not going to worry about the landscape maintenance, and you're not going to really worry about the utility bills. But the majority of us don't buy $2 million homes. So I want to talk to you about my own bills because I can tell you the biggest thing is electricity. So for some reason, the greater Phoenix area, we mostly use electricity versus gas. I have no idea why. New construction, I am starting to see builders including gas as a service. My particular home, I do have both. I had the choice when I was building my house, which by the way was in the 90s. And so some of you might be like, oh, that's too old. I want a home that's more energy efficient. Well, let me show you guys something. This is how energy efficient I've made my home. My home was built in 1996. About 3 years ago, I completely remodeled it, which also included new roof, insulation, windows, sunscreens. I also have several shade trees around my home and 2 new AC units. And even I thought that as long as my AC worked, it was fine. Well, I didn't realize the amount of energy it was like trying to keep my house cool. And when do you think ACs break? When they're working the hardest in July and August. So I made the investment and I'm so glad I did. Again, here's another thing. In hindsight, people are like, I'll wait. I don't want to spend that $20,000. It was actually $18,000 for me for 2 units. And I got top of the line, variable speed, and literally 2 years later, that same unit was those same 2 units would be 24,000. So sometimes it does not pay to wait. So here's again what I want to show you: 2,600 square foot home, 2-story. That mindset of you don't want 2-story because the energy bills are crazy, not at all. Now, here's the thing: I pay the same amount of money every single month, and my utility bill, it says to only pay 121. It's September, by the way, you guys. And it's still hot. If you didn't know, we're having triple digits right now in September. But the point I'm trying to make is I actually pay $150 every single month. And at the end of the year, in this case, I had a balance of $46. So that means that I don't need to pay more than $150 a year. And that's what my average is that I just pay every single month. Now, if you wanted to know exactly what my home cost in this month, it was in September $267. And that's an older home, guys. You don't have to, the whole reasoning that you have to buy a new home is because you don't want to do maintenance or you don't want to have energy bills. It's not necessarily the case. This is my water bill. This is what shocks everybody. I have a lot of bathrooms. I have a swimming pool. I have grass in the front yard and the backyard and a lot of trees and bushes. So you'd think I'd have some crazy water bill, right? My water bill for last month, are you ready? $85. So if I actually didn't have all that stuff, I'd probably have a lower bill. So it's not too bad. I use Cox. Now, you all know from videos that I need to have a consistent quality internet. I pay $90 for just internet. That's what it costs out here. There are cheaper services like T-Mobile and Verizon have those home services for like $40. And then there's also CenturyLink. There is a lot of cable companies out here. It's crazy. And also here, the Chandler, this is the part that people don't understand. The taxes are so low in the city of Chandler. Maricopa County is 0.64% of the county's assessed value, which is not the same as market value. And so the city of Chandler is truly 0.64%. My total taxes in the city of Chandler for 2023 was just at $2,400 a year. There is a new community that, because they have higher property taxes and they also have a CFD, are over $500 a month. That's $200 a month. So people don't realize that. Again, guys, kind of got to get out of that. Got to have new uh, kind of things. Now, here's the other thing I want to talk about the city of Chandler. The city of Chandler provides parks that are free. My parents live in California, and it's amazing. You have to have a park membership and you have to have a parking pass, and like it's crazy. So you can go to all these parks at no cost. Every single community has some sort of retention park area. There are some communities that have more, but I'll be honest with you, how often, unless you have younger school age children that love to play on the playground, how much do you really use those resources? And you're paying $150 a month. There are some people that are just like, well, I like having a lake in my community, but yet they still have to get in the car and drive 10 minutes to get to the lake because the community is so big. Here's the thing, guys. Chandler has all this at no cost, and you get to enjoy that. The city of Chandler, as far as parks, I mean, parks everywhere. They have sports complexes, they have skateboard parks, they have, if your kids are in soccer and baseball, oh, don't forget about your dog. We have dog parks. We have public pools. Like for people that can't afford a pool in their backyard, or maybe they choose not to. Think about it. If you're a 12-year-old, wouldn't it be a whole lot more fun to go to a public pool so that you can play with all your friends for only like $2 a day? I'm sorry, but that's awesome that the city offers that. They have a huge recreation center, not one, but two. The libraries here are insane. This is all free, guys, when you live in the city of Chandler. Okay, so shoot me. I forgot a lot of things and I promised you I would tell you all about it. So I'm going to go down the line real quickly. Not only do we have Costco, we also have Sam's Club and we have choices of Targets, which one do we want to go to? And there's a lot of Walmarts. There's actually a very classy Walmart smack dab in the middle of Chandler. Medical care, not only is there Chandler Regional, which is a trauma for center, which is also one of the negatives about living too close to the hospital, but there is also Banner Health that they just built on Alma School and the 202, so it's right off the freeway exit. And of course, Gilbert Mercy and Gilbert is just down the freeway as well. There is a ton of medical care in the city of Chandler, in and around. Here's the thing, I come from California where there's Kaiser and there's these campuses, if you would, like the hospitals in one spot and then all the doctors and everybody is right there on site. It's not like that here in Arizona. Everything is spread out all over the place. So you can pick your favorite dermatologist or optometrist or ENT or blood draw, Sonoran Quest Laboratories. There is a lot of choices all over the greater Phoenix area, even in towns that don't have hospitals. If you missed my video I just recently did on Gold Canyon, they don't have a hospital, but they have a ton of medical care in town. So you see what I mean? You don't necessarily need to be super near a hospital. You can be near great medical care no matter where you live in Chandler. Let's see what else. We talked about some adult entertainment, and I totally forgot. We have casinos, if that's kind of your thing, and there's concerts there, and then, of course, fun lounges, some nice restaurants, and it's just kind of fun, you know, getting dressed up and going out every once in a while. Not only do we have one, we have two, we have three, four nearby in the city of Chandler. Yeah, that tells you a little bit about the spending habits of Chandler residents, right? We also have the Chandler Symphony. People don't realize that. So we have a Center for Performing Arts as well. It's just outside of downtown Chandler. We also have an area called Rawhide. Rawhide used to be up in Scottsdale, but now that's houses, and Rawhide opened up down here. And so now we have all kinds of different kinds of Halloween or Christmas events. There's also concerts. There's all kinds of fun things that go on out there. So there's a lot of entertainment and activities. I also wanted to give the city of Chandler code enforcement, police, fire, and graffiti truck a huge, whatever this is.
Don't ever do that again.
One thing, the city of Chandler, they have very, very tight code enforcement, so you don't see a bunch of signs and for sale and all this crap. And there's no graffiti. Not kidding you. There is an app, the City of Chandler app. If you see anything, you send it in. Within one business day, it's gone. There is no graffiti in the City of Chandler. They are so proud of such a clean city. And so are we, the residents of Chandler. I'm telling you, if you're thinking about buying Chandler, you're going to love it.